Hello everyone, I'm so glad that you're here and I'm really excited because I really love how this piece turned out. This is Sailor Mars Y2K. She is inspired by the retrending fashion of the 2000s. And if you are new here, I have a Patreon page where I have a ton more content about my art processes and tons of videos just like this one where I show from start to finish how I draw an illustration. So check the description below, I'll put the link down there. And I am recording this video coming to you a little bit stressed and hurried because I leave tomorrow to go to Florida for a wedding, and I really wanted to get this video done and out to you guys before I left. I had a really good talk with my therapist today actually about just feeling stressed and overwhelmed and pulled in a million directions. I'm sure someone out there can relate. And we talked about how artists and creatives often have this idea of organization and even love the idea of being organized and having a plan for the week and the month and the year, but we sometimes get stuck in the beauty of it as opposed to the function of it. We want to make a cute little planner or a task list, and I myself used to use a bullet journal, but I would doodle in it and draw in it, but I wouldn't actually use it to plan and stay organized. So some of the steps that she taught me that I figured share the love, I would just share it with you guys, is to first have a brain dump where you just put everything that's in your head down on paper. And then after that, taking everything that you dumped on paper and organizing it in order of urgent, non-urgent, important, and unimportant, and just really trying to prioritize the things that are needing to be done sooner than later. And then after that, pick the big three, so the top three things that need to be done either that day or that week. And then from there, you just say, okay, once those big three are done, what are some other things that I would like to do? And then she said to then go ahead and group those into groups of three, priority-wise, and then more groups of three, and so on and so forth. And I really like this look at organization because it helps me simplify my tasks, break them down, make them more tangible and doable. So I really wanted to get into some Q&As for this video. I just really love answering fun questions that you guys throw my way. But before I do that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this piece right here that you see me drawing. This is Sailor Mars from the hit TV show Sailor Moon, and she is one of my favorite characters from the show, so I had to, of course, make her sassy and serious because I feel like that's very much how she is on the show. But I was inspired by J-Lo in the 2000s. She's often seen wearing the classic two-piece Adidas jumpsuit. So here you go, Mars in her two-piece Adidas jumpsuit. I think it turned out so cute with the jacket hanging off the shoulders, and as you saw at the beginning of the video, I played around a lot with the colors and figuring all that out, but I think she turned out really cute and her outfit's really fun. I always say I'm drawing my characters in outfits that I would love to wear myself. So after I picked out all of the colors that you saw at the beginning, I then go in and I start to make different layers on my Photoshop app. As you can see right now, I'm drawing in her skin on a separate layer from her clothes and from her hair. And I just put in all of the solid colors before I work on anything else. And then after that, I start to work on the shading, of course, with the skin and the clothes and the hair. And then after that, I add in the jewelry and then the highlights on the skin. And when I say it all like that, it makes it sound so simple, but there's way more to it. All in all, I think she turned out really cute. I decided to play around with adding some highlights to her skin to maybe give her more of like a dewy look, or maybe she just got done with a workout, but I think she turned out really good. I'm super proud of this piece. Okay, so the moment you have all been waiting for. I love this part of the video. I am here to answer your questions. I got some really fun ones and some like really challenging questions. So I'm going to just kind of group them all together. I got quite a few questions about Halloween and the upcoming season. So first question is, how do you feel about slutty Halloween costumes? Really hitting me with a banger here. I would just start by saying, me personally, when it comes to wearing Halloween costumes, I like to wear a balance of maybe a little bit cute, maybe a little bit quote unquote slutty, I guess, but also like I also love a good funny Halloween costume too, so it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling that year. This year I'm going as Miss Rachel. Regular Miss Rachel, not slutty. Just gonna like be super cool as Miss Rachel. You get the idea. But I would just say for other people, like, wear a slutty Halloween costume. I mean, let's be honest, if we're talking about slutty Halloween costumes, we all think women, right? Like girls wearing Halloween costumes that are quote unquote slutty. And I just think that there's a lot of stigma and a lot of standards for how women dress, and I really think like if a woman wants to go as a more revealing Halloween costume or something that's more, again, quote unquote slutty, like I say go for it. If that's what you want to do, like who's stopping you? If you think you look good when you walk out the door, like girl, more power to you. So the next question is a really fun one. It's, if I could have dinner with 3 dead people, who would they be? And I had to think real hard about this one, along with a couple other questions too, let me just say. But for this one, my 3 people would be my Oma. She died when I was really young, but she was and still is one of my absolute favorite people. The other person that I would have dinner with is Claude Monet. He is one of my favorite painters from the Renaissance, I think. I'm not actually sure when, but I just love his paintings. He's got such an amazing art style. I just would love to peek into his mind. Obviously, there would be a language barrier, so I guess I would need an interpreter, but this is all just fun and make-believe anyways. Which leads into my third person, who is Cleopatra. I just think she has such a huge impact on history as a woman who was a ruler and a leader, but also had like crazy love romances and men who just drooled at her feet. Like, I don't know. She would be such an interesting person to talk to. Again, language barrier, but whatever. Like, imagination. We both speak Egyptian or whatever. Going back to seasonal here, I got a question that says, what is your fave Halloween movie? And this was a tough one because honestly, I don't have that many Halloween movies that are like really my favorite in general, but when I really got to thinking about it, I remembered the movie Coraline, and I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but it's one that I really love. I think the story is super interesting. The art is so cool, how it's all claymation, but I think I'm going to be watching that this year because I haven't watched it in a while. I did want to mention that my brother has been trying to get me to watch the TV show Over the Garden Wall. I think I'm saying that correctly, but he said it's a cult classic and an absolute must watch. So I actually think I'm going to add that to my Halloween list this year. If that's one that you've seen, feel free to leave a comment and let me know your opinions of that one. Also, just because it's that time of year, I would love to hear everybody's favorite Halloween movies in the comment section. Just go ahead and just throw it out there, because like I would also love some inspiration myself for what I could be watching during spooky season. This next question is pretty straightforward. Do you work better with music or silence? And my answer to that is neither. I actually really enjoy listening to podcasts. So I listen to The Adventure Zone by the McElroy brothers. I also listen to The Daily, which is a New York Times news broadcast that happens once a day. It's a very short episode, but it just really helps to keep me up to date on what's going on with life. But in all honesty, when I'm listening to a podcast and trying to be productive, sometimes I do have to rewind and go back because it's like easy to get distracted while I'm being creative. So for the last question, I'm going to try to make this one quick. It's, what are your top 5 fictional women characters from across books, television, and games? So starting with number 1, I have Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't have a great reason for this other than every time she pops up on the screen, I am so excited to see her. So take it as it is. My second one is Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. She just is so cool. She's so well read and uses really big words and adjectives. The third one is Sayuri from one of my favorite movies, and that I can't think of all of a sudden. Oh my gosh. From Memoirs of a Geisha. She just is so strong and so persistent towards her dream and towards her goal, and honestly, I can relate. So the fourth one is Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. I think that she is just so incredibly sweet and honest and genuine, but she's also so wise. I just see her as a priestess almost. Like, she gives Harry the best advice throughout the series, and I just don't think the books would be the same without her. And last but not least, we can't forget my favorite, Sailor Moon. She is just the ultimate. I used to pretend that I was her when I was younger, and I don't know, she's just so loyal to her friends. She is the pretty guardian. I couldn't leave her out of my top 5. So there you have it. That is my top 5 for that answer, and this is the final look at Sailor Mars Y2K. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!
Go bananas!
Let's grab different panties. Yes.
Who are you grabbing panties for?
So I can wear spandex.
No, I said it's for you.
I'm wearing spandex.
Okay.
And hold on, someone's moving furniture downstairs?